Brenda, how are you? Okay.
Hello, I'm okay.
Right, great stuff. So we got you in there eventually, didn't we? And it's been a bit of a trial. So, Brenda, are you over in New York? Are you?
No, I'm in Tennessee.
Oh God, that is a way away, isn't it? I don't understand why I said New York. I'm just making it up as I go along. But I'm continually trying to get these other guys in. But well, Brenda, thank you for joining us because you do tend to sort of try and get in most weeks. And I know there's some issues with this, and we will get there eventually. But thank you for joining me. And well, we might as well start with you then, haven't we, Brenda? See if we get anybody else in, and
Okay.
see who else joins us. So, Brenda, now with you, could you possibly turn your sound down just a tiny little bit, please, just so it doesn't feed back into the computer? And I will just work away with you. Uh, Now, I think, Brenda, I've seen you on a few other shows before today, and a few other, maybe other people's radio shows. Have you been tuning into Bonnie Albers at all, or no?
On which one?
Bonnie Albers?
No.
Oh, right, okay, fine. Because I think I know I've seen your name on Facebook anyway, but I don't know about the others. Right, and Catherine, I'm just going to mute you, okay? There you go. Right then, let's move on, Brenda, with you. And I'm just going to keep trying to get other people in while we're chatting away. We might as well have a chat about this and see what's going on. Right then, okay, Brenda, moving on swiftly. Uh, right, Brenda, there's a couple of areas I'd like to discuss with you because I would like to do a mini reading for you. And what I'll say to you,
Okay.
Brenda, around you at this time. Sorry, can you hear me? Okay, yeah,
Yes.
Brenda.
Yes.
Okay, great stuff. Right, Ruth, I'm just going to mute you. Right then, Brenda, around you at the moment, I just feel that there's a need to. Well, I want to say about looking at, well, the only words I can use is looking after yourself, taking care of yourself, particularly around your physical health at the moment. So I don't know whether this means much sense to you at the moment, but what I do feel is that uh, I just feel that over the past, I won't say maybe 5 to 7 years, that you've definitely felt as though, well, I'm going to say, not just, uh, not just, life, paying bills and paying, your mortgage or your rent or whatever. I'm going to say that the last 5 to 7 years is where I feel as though life has sort of give you a bit of a kicking. Would this make sense to you at all?
It does. Yes.
Okay,
Very
then.
much
Well,
so.
thank you. And like I said, people will always say, "Oh yeah, I can relate to that. I've had a bad time." But I want to say more than that, and I'm very drawn towards what I would call your nerves here, Brenda. I just feel as though you've been living on your nerves, or you're at the point where, well, I've got to say that I just feel as though you're on the edge all the time. Would you understand this as well?
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you. Brenda, now I understand that we've got an audience. There's a few people just watching at home. We've got a few people in the room watching, but I've got uh, with you. Do you mind if I ask you, quite a personal question? I mean, if you say to me, Andrew, I don't want to talk about this, I don't want to talk about that, then I will respect that. But I just feel with you that there's an area that I need to go into, and I'd just like your permission first. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
It's
Uh,
fine.
Thank you, thank you. And I appreciate your honesty as well. But Brenda, have you, within the last 2 years, actually thought about taking your own life?
Yes.
Thank you. Because I've got to say to you, and I've got to say, I would even say that obviously you failed with respect, but I feel as though you have actually attempted this because there's somebody just giving me tablets at the moment. So would you understand where you've taken an overdose of sleeping tablets? Would you understand this?
I haven't taken them, but I have them stored away.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you've got the sleeping tablets stored away, but you haven't taken them. But you have also thought about taking your own life, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I've got to be honest here, Brenda, as I always am, because I've just heard a male's voice say, "Mom, we don't want you here yet." Would you understand? You don't need to say any more than this, but would you understand where this is coming from?
Absolutely.
Because I
Yes.
have, excuse me, I have a young man here with me, and with this young man, I've got to say, I feel like he's a son. Would this make sense?
Yes. Yes, it
Okay,
is.
thank you. But oh God, Brenda, I've got to say this, but with your son, would you understand? I've got to say this nauseous feeling I've got with him, this sort of, I mean, I felt that I physically wanted to be ill then. Would you understand this condition with him before he passed?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, well, thank you for that. And I've got to say, with him, I just feel, oh, sorry, excuse me. Because I feel as though there's a number of conditions with this young man, and I feel with him that when your son was here, I want to say I feel as though there was an underlying illness. Uh, do you know what I've got to say? Would you understand mental illness with your son as well, Brenda?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I need to go into this, and I am surprised he's telling me this, but he wants me to confirm that it is him. When he was found, I feel as though he took his own life as well. Would you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. Do you,
Yes.
do you mind? Do you mind if I go on?
No, go ahead.
Okay. And just for this final confirmation before we move on, because I want to move it up and I want to take the energy up as well, because he's making me also aware that I feel as though when he was found, would you under, I've got to say, did he choke on his own vomit as well?
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that. That's why I just felt as though I needed to be physically ill, and I said to him, "Can you please show me this?" And he's telling me, Brenda, and I hope you don't mind me. It's weird because if I look at you, I'm looking down the screen, but I'm trying to continually look at the camera so you can see me. Uh, you know. Um, would you understand where either your son was called Tony or Tony linked in closely to him?
I'm sorry.
Would you understand the name Tony linking with your son or the linking very closely to him?
Um, Possibly. I mean, Terry probably more than Tony.
Sorry?
Possibly Terry.
Right, okay. It didn't sound like Terry to me, so I'll move on because names is one of those things that I hear a name and I've got to give it. And sometimes what I say I hear spiritually, it's like I hear the t, and then my brain makes up the rest, and that's a habit I've got to get out of. But anyway,
Right. Well,
moving on with.
his name is Tim.
Sorry?
My son's name is Tim.
Okay, thank you for telling me that. So I want to call him Jim because I don't just want to call him, your son. So let's call him by his name because you're his mum, and that's what
It's
he's
Tim,
doing.
it's Andrew. It's Tim, not Jim. It's T. It's Tim with a T.
Oh, Tim. Sorry. Poor sound.
Okay.
Poor sound. Tim. Okay, thank you. Let's move on with Tim then. Right. Now, with Tim, Brenda, I've got to say to you here, as I work with him, he wants to pick this up. He wants to pick the whole thing up, the whole shebang up. And I've got to say here with him, he's telling me, right, okay, thank you. Would you understand? I feel as though I'm being told that you have had a message from your dad who said that he took Tim over. Would this make sense?
Yes, it's actually my husband. Yes,
Okay,
his
well,
dad.
Sorry, I was hearing Dad. I was hearing Dad
Right.
took him over. So I should have just said that. And it's the age-old adage, say what you hear. And I heard Dad took him over. So it was his dad, not
Right.
your dad, took him over. Thank you.
Correct.
And as I work with this is what I feel as though I need to work on at the moment because I'm being taken to. There's a gentleman working with me also because I know I've got your son here, but there's also a gentleman working with me, and this gentleman is taking me to what I would call a double garage here because I know you tend to see these out in the suburbs rather than sort of in cities, but a double garage, and I feel as though this man was either very good working with his hands or woodwork because he's showing me what I would call the power tools, not just a drill, not just a handsaw. I feel as though this guy was a bit like, and he's showing me the program at the moment. It was called with Tim Allen. There was a program a few years back with Tim Allen where he was a TV presenter in the show, and
Right.
it was called Tool Time. That was
Yes,
the show I'm talking about, don't you? Uh,
I do. Yeah.
and would you understand? I feel this is Tim's dad that showed me all of the tools and the double garage, and I feel as though it was him. We're not just talking, he mended a fence, he put a picture up on the wall. I feel this guy knew how to almost make furniture as well. He was that good. Would you understand this?
Yes, he could do anything with tools.
Thank you. And that's what he should. And it's funny because, and isn't it strange? Bizarrely enough, I wish they'd shown me this beforehand, but as you will remember from the American TV program, I can't remember the actual TV program that Tim Allen was in, but of course he was Tim, but the mock program they made was all about tools and power tools and selling them as well and using them. So I think they're working great in that respect. Uh, but what obviously why they come through, Brenda, is because initially I heard your son saying, "Mom, we don't want you over here yet," and they are telling me here, Brenda, is it you that works in? I'm going to say, you do care work or you look after other people in need. And I don't want to say charity work. I mean, giving some sort of looking after elderly people or caring for them or even just looking in on them and making sure they're okay. Would you understand this?
Um, no, no, I used to sing in the nursing homes a few years ago, but that's not what I do now.
No, okay. They would have shown me singing. I don't want to try and make it fit. But all I'll say is they've said they don't want you over there yet. But just before they do go, what I do want to give you here, and I want to get Debbie Miller in. I will try and get her in again. And Francis, I want to get you through as well. But as I work with you, Brenda, and I work with your husband and with your son, what was it trying to give me here? Now, as come on, tell me. Tell me. Right. They're making me aware here, Brenda, that, okay, right, your husband is actually talking about money here, and he's talking about, right, do you know when somebody passes away and they leave money in a will? But
Yes.
would you understand where your husband, sometimes people say, I'm going to leave everything to my wife or everything to the kids, and, or even if there's no will, they just leave it. Uh, your husband, would you understand where there was like, I feel as though he gave it to good causes as well. There was money left for good causes because I'm being shown money, one, two, three, four, five. Would you understand this? Where it didn't just go to family. I feel as though it went to other places so his money could do good. Would you understand this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But he's also telling me, and I've got to say this, because he's telling me you've never understood this mentality. Would you understand this as well?
Yeah, he got a little eccentric sometimes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, but what he's saying here is that it's almost like, like we laugh about it in the UK, about saying, oh, she's left all the money to the cat's home. That mad old woman left the money to the refuge for the cats. And it's a little bit like this. He's saying to me, it was some of the places he'd let his money go to. You think, what have you done that for? We could have done this, we could have done that. And this is what he's saying to me. But he's telling me as well that he wants you to fight here, Brenda, because he's telling me he doesn't want you to give in, but what? Right, he's talking. He's showing me a legal representation, or he's showing me a legal situation, but he's saying to me where he wants you to fight. I'm going to say fight for your rights. Would you understand this?
Well, not yet, but
Oh, right, okay
I'm not
then.
sure.
Okay, no problem, because I actually feel as though I've moved on from you now, because that didn't fit with everything else they've given me. But if I could, Brenda, if I could just, and just before I go, it sounded like Brian, the name I wanted to leave you as well. Would you understand Brian?
No, not really.
Okay then. Well,
No.
obviously the names have fallen a bit flat tonight, but that's the way it goes sometimes. But what I'll do, Brenda, I just want to leave their love with you and let you know that, obviously they have been here, because I do know that the energy's fallen flat around them now, and I do need to move on to the next person. But is there anything you'd like to ask me at all?
No, I mean, you did great. I mean, you really had my husband and my son right there, so
Okay, no
I just
problem.
know they're around me a lot. I feel them around me quite a lot, and I feel my
Yeah,
son a lot. So.
yeah. But you know what, Brenda? I've also got to say as well, when I feel the energy go flat with somebody, I also feel that energy go flat with them because they've gone flat themselves. And I tell you what, I've just asked them to tell me why they backed off, but also, and it was to do with you as well. What I'm being told here is, and this is actually a bit of a scolding from your husband and your son, more your husband, because what I'm being told here is that it's almost like you're living on a day-to-day basis, waiting to hear from them or waiting for something from them and waiting to join them, because they're telling me that you're not letting them go. Would you understand this?
Yes. Yep.
Thank you.
Very
Because
much.
I am surprised that they came this close, and that's why they backed off. Because the minute I said, "Oh, that's all I've got," and some of the information I gave sort of went, and you went, "Oh no, 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 that's not." Well, I felt you sink, and then try and draw them closer again, sort of clawing onto them. And they just said, Brenda, they are always around you. They work with you on a daily basis. But they want, and this is where the fight comes in. They want you to fight what you're doing there and to fight for yourself, because they're saying you can't give in yet, and they will not let you come over because they want you to fight to stay here to finish your work here. Would you understand this?
Oh, yes, I understand.
Because they just keep saying your work is not done, but they are around all the time. And if you just please take it from me, take comfort that they are around you. It's not that they've gone anywhere. It's just that what's happened is when you go down and you ground yourself to a certain point, what's happening is you're actually blocking that energy. They haven't gone anywhere, but what they want you to do, they're trying to pick your spirits up so you open up and you sense them around you.